going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today, or should I say today, I'm going to begin the build on the, found out in the comments, one of 16 official pace cars. So that just made the stress level even more, knowing that there's only 16 of these things. Great. But the car ain't gonna get itself done, so I gotta get it done. I got 4 days. So about to begin the process. So what I'm going to do is first I'm gonna cover the part of the car that doesn't need to be exposed. And then I'm gonna get the car jacked up in the air. I'm gonna get the front bumper off. I might leave the headlights on just because there's strobe lights on them. I really don't want to mess those up. So we'll see once I get the bumper off. Get the bumper off, get the front wheels off, and then from there we'll begin the disassemble. So let me go ahead and get this together and let's begin the build. So in the midst of me trying to separate the bumper, I was having problems trying to get this light to come out. So as I took it out, I noticed that right there, it's melted. So it's hard for trying to get the bulb out. The bulb's not really, I didn't see if it worked, but just because of what they are, I don't want to risk it. So I just unplugged it. So I'm gonna get this back on the bumper and then I'll be right back. Okay, so finally got the bumper off. Got it up there secure. I was gonna take it in the house, but less travel, less damage. Car covers on there, so everything will be protected. It's fine. Now, moving on. There was a lot of detail to take into consideration. I gotta make sure those go back to where they need to be. Those are the strobe lights for the headlights and fog lights. Not too major, but yeah. So we got the bumper off. I got my little organizer so I know where all my bolts is at. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go underneath the car and I'm gonna drain the oil and then drain the coolant. Once we get the oil and coolant drained, then we're gonna start on the top. Relieve everything that needs to be done up top and then go to the bottom after, because once I get everything up top that I need to get off, I'll have access to get the AC compressor off and the power steering pump without being underneath the car. Because as big as I am, I don't want to be under the car unless I have to be. So that's what we're doing. So let me go ahead and get my light set up on the hood. Y'all know how I do. And then I'm gonna get under this car, get this oil and coolant drain, and then start tearing the top of this motor apart.
Darkness on the beat.
Okay, so getting the coolant out didn't go as I planned. There's a little screw fitting down in the radiator. Let's see if I can get this camera on there. Okay, look. Right, where's my finger at? Where is my finger? Hold on. Trying to find my, okay, there's my finger. Okay, see that right there, that yellow where my finger's pointing? You spin that with a 1/4 inch ratchet and you can relieve the coolant out of the radiator. Well, that doesn't want to turn and I don't want to force it. So I'm about to do it the old school way, like I do. So what I'm gonna do is worry about that later. I'm gonna start breaking the top end stuff that I want off. And then once we get to that point where I get to the bottom, we'll discuss the further process. So what I'm gonna do is these are coming off the crossbars, the battery tray, yeah, and reservoir bottle, coil pack bracket, bell housing bolts. You'll see. I'm gonna get it off and then I'll break down what I got done. So let me get started. Listen. All right, let me give you an update what's going on. So I got the belts off. Here's the control module unplugged. I got the spark plug wires out. So now what I'm about to do is now that I got the belts off, what I like to do to make life easier for me once I get the motor out, so I'm not like cranking on this thing, I put the 1/2 inch ratchet and socket. I put it, let me get it so I can show you what I did. So you grab this and 15/16. Okay. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it on here exactly like this. Hold on. Okay. You wanna put it like that. Make sure it's on loosen. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. And you set it on the cradle like that. And what you do, once you have it like that, you crank the car. And it'll be stuck because they torque them pretty good from the factory. So you just crank the car over and it'll break that bolt loose. And then you're done. That'll make life 10 times easier for you when you get the motor on the engine stand and you start wanting to break the engine down. That's one less thing I got to do. So now let me get back to work. Okay, so I got where I need to be almost. I'm about to take a break, but just to give you a heads up what's going on. So next what I'm gonna end up doing is taking this alternator off and then the power steering pump. But before I get to those, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the oil neck. I removed those because when you go to lift the motor up, the oil neck likes to get caught on the frame, and I don't want to scratch this car. So extra precaution, I'll just take it off, and then I'll get the AC compressor off. So I have to get underneath and take the AC compressor on the other side. I have to get that bracket off from the block. We'll break the starter down, and then from here we'll be able to see the flex plate. So once we get the AC compressor out the way. So I'm gonna take a long extension, get the flex plate bolts, and then while I'm back here, go ahead and get the bitch bracket out the way so I can get the bitch bolt. So I'm gonna take me a little break, and then I'll get back to it. Okay, so right now we got the AC compressor down out the way. We got the starter out the way. We got pretty much the top end is done. Everything is disconnected. Throttle body cables, fuel lines. The whole harness is ready to move over this way. So the engine harness is totally disconnected from the car, or the motor. I got the radiator hoses to take off, but I got to pull one of the knock sensors off so I can drain the block. That way, because I don't like working in a messy area. So I pull the knock sensor out, and it drains the block, and then I squeeze the radiator hose just so I can get everything out the hose pretty much, so when I disconnect the hose it doesn't spill all over the floor. So I got that, and I gotta get this crossover off so I can get the bell housing bolts. What else I gotta do? And the down pipe in the rear, and bitch bracket, bitch bolt, and oil neck, and it's coming out. So when I pull motors, once you get the heater core hoses out the way, you can take the whole engine harness. Wow, it's out your way, and the motor just comes straight up. Now, some people may want to know the process. So as I'm taking a little break, I'll break it down. I can't really be step by step on this video because of memory, so you just got to follow along. So what I would do first is remove the bumper, because when you use the cherry picker, it's going to want to smash up against the bumper, and you don't want to damage your paint job on the bumper. So just take it off. Then once you get your bumper off, start by getting rid of your fluid. That be your oil and your radiator fluid. I take off the dog bone mounts. That way nothing gets hung up. The paint on the brackets don't get messed up. And I take the battery tray off as well, so nothing gets caught on the tray. You can actually take the whole fuse box and stuff it over here in the corner, so nothing is in the way. I take the oil neck off because, as you can see, the oil neck, when it comes up, it'll scratch the shit out of the frame, and then it'll get caught up on the harness. I'm not trying to splice in the factory harnesses. I'm not trying to do that. So I just take it off, which I found, I'm so used to working on this 5-speed car and forgot about the 6.5. I have to take the CV axle off so I can get the oil neck off. Plus, it'll be in the way of me trying to get the bitch bracket off. So it's okay. It's a little bit more work than I anticipated to do, but I'd rather do it this way so I feel comfortable with what I'm doing. Now, remove your fuel lines, okay? And then your vacuums, it'll come from there, then it'll go to the fuel regulator, then it'll go to the lower intake, to the map sensor. Let's get that out the way. You don't have to take none of this off. I take the alternator off just because it's easy for me to get a hold of getting the power steering pump off. I don't have that in my way. And then you got to get these off. And everything else you see here, you don't have to take that off, okay? You just want to get your throttle body cable off. You can leave that on. You're going to have to disconnect the 2 bolts back there on the downpipe. You got to disconnect that. And you want to take your crossover pipe off because you got to get access to the bell housing bolts. So that's what's going on. And then on the bottom, you got your front knock sensor, your rear knock sensor, your oil leveler sensor, your starter, flex plate bolts, and the lower engine mount, the bitch bracket, and the bitch bolt. This is all the way across back there, okay? Now the little trick here for the flex plate. Now, remember I was telling you earlier, right? Look through there, that little tunnel right there. See that? You can see the flex plate. So what you're gonna do is line that where you see that bolt right there, that little tunnel, and you stick a long extension with an impact and you knock them loose. Quick, easy peasy. Shouts to Brandon Sims for that trick. But yeah, so I'm gonna take me a little break, and then it won't be a break for you, but when I get back, I'm going to finish the process of getting this motor pulled. I'm being very slow and cautious with this process because normally I would have had it out by now, but I'm just being extra precautious so I don't want to damage or scratch anything. So let me take a little break and then I'll get back to it. Okay, so let's talk about inevitableness. So if you do this with 3800s, you will understand when you take the crossover bolts, them bolts is on there by a prayer as far as taking them off. So that's what happens. If you don't heat them up, which in this car's case, it don't matter, so I didn't care. But if you don't heat them up, they snap. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. Every last one of these I do, they always snap. Don't matter what you do. And the downpipe is a luck of the draw as well. Usually those snap. But luckily, he already had a 3-inch downpipe on his car, so they was already out. Which they were still a pain in the ass to get out, but they're out. So, let me get back to work. All right, so we're ready to pull the motor out now. As you can see, I got the wiring harness out my way, oil necks off and all that. And check this out. Look at my floor. That's the worst. I don't have a pool of fluid under the car. I don't like that. It's not how I get down. But even in there, I barely spilled anything. So it's gonna be easy for me to clean up. So if you take your time and, you know, follow the steps, you can have a clean work environment and you have less to clean up when you put the car back together. Like, I just need some brake cleaner and a microfiber towel and just wipe off where all the spillage is at. It'll take me like 5 minutes to do that. So, all right, now let's get this engine out. All right, so we got the motor out. Everything's unscathed. Look at that. No grease on the car. Nothing cracked, chip. And that's the worst of it. Right there, just that little bit. I'll clean that up. That's easy. Easy. So, yeah. That's all good. So we'll get to that before we put the engine back in, but for the most part, you see how smooth that came out? Nice and smooth. Nothing got hung up. Did that. So now, the engine. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get this on the engine stand. And then once I get on the engine stand, I'm gonna take me a brake. And then we're gonna start breaking this motor down. So let's get to it.
Listen.
Okay, now we're to the nitty gritty. So we got the motor on the engine stand. Okay. So I'm about where I almost want to be today. So what I'm about to do right now is I'm gonna break this block down. I'm gonna break it down to where I want it. And then that should be it for today. So, all right, let's get ready to break this thing down. I got a feeling. Now, this motor's got 33,000 miles on it. And she's clean. She's real clean. So I'm probably just going to put... No, I'm not. Let's get to it.
Moderate Mark Productions.
All right, look at this, man. Look at this. This is by far the cleanest 3800 I've ever touched. This thing was cleaner than my L26. Man. That's damn. This motor ain't never seen no hard. It ain't seen no hard pulls, man. Hell no. That's incredible. You could tell that it's been well kept on the oil changes too. Man, that's nice. All right, I just wanted to show you guys that. But the piston tops, it's on pump gas, so I expect for them to be crusty, but we'll see. All right, I'm about to get these heads off.
DJ Subies E Freak.
All right, so, I mean, it's expected, but overall, the cross, you can't see it on the camera. You might be able to, but the cylinder walls is normal. Still got the cross hatching. That's expected. I mean, look at that. This block's in good shape. So, got the heads off. The only thing is left, what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna get the timing chain cover off, and then that's it. I got further than where I thought I was gonna get. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. You can see it's still daytime. But yeah, I'm gonna get this timing chain cover off, and then we're gonna call it that. Damn. I'm getting tired. All right, let me get this done. All right, so I'm where I want to be today. I got the block broke down to where I want it. Tomorrow we'll get the timing chain off. The balancer. Man, I can't even think straight. I'm getting tired. The balance shaft gear. Here we go. We'll get that off. Get the cam out. We're gonna build this motor tomorrow. So the goal tomorrow is to have this motor fully assembled and back in the car. Now there's gonna be a lot of prepping, but I can get it. So if I can get this motor built tomorrow, back in the car, and at least the bottom end button up, that's a plus. So I'm gonna go for that. But I don't want to rush the process just because of, this is not my engine. So I'm gonna treat it like better than I would treat my motor. So I'm gonna cover this up, and I'm gonna take me a shower, and I'm gonna edit this video so you guys can watch it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.